Hello and welcome everyone to the week ahead commodity report, where we of course will be reviewing the markets for the week ahead. Now in today's highly macro driven markets, they are fueling one of the greatest wealth creation opportunities that we have seen. Throughout our commodity reports, we have routinely highlighted that the markets will move in very predictable trends. This in itself will present savvy commodity traders with a series of highly profitable opportunities to capitalize on the huge macro driven rallies as well as the pullbacks. But make no mistake, this is not a buy and hold market. In these exciting and fast moving markets, they are creating the most optimized environment for traders, or as some of the world's most powerful Wall Street banks, from Goldman Sachs to JP Morgan to Bank of America, they are calling this the golden age of trading. So far this year, we have seen commodity markets notching up explosive double-digit gains in a single week, sometimes in a single day. For traders making money in these markets, it's never been so straightforward. The week-to-week, short-term, macro-driven trend that we're seeing play out right now, that can be summarized as buy low, sell high, rinse and repeat and do it all over again. Which brings me on to this week, which is all about one thing. It's all about the macroeconomics with Fed Chair Jerome Powell's speech and Trump's tariff deadline, which will set the tone for the commodity markets. Now, for commodities, this is shaping up to be one of the most consequential weeks of 2025, with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, his high-stakes speech scheduled for Tuesday, and a market-moving tariff deadline fast approaching. Traders are bracing for volatility. As savvy commodity traders know, volatility, that equals opportunity, and right now we have opportunity on top of opportunity. All eyes will turn to Powell on Tuesday, as traders are going to dissect every part of Jerome Powell's speech for signs of a pivot towards easing or doubling down on hawkish narratives. Now, whilst inflation has moderated from last year's extremes, the Fed, they remain under pressure to justify higher for longer mantra against growing risks of over tightening. Now, for commodities, the implications, they lay the groundwork for the market's next massive move. A dovish Powell, that could ignite a sell-off on the dollar, unleashing upside across multiple precious metals and energies. Gold and silver in particular, they stand to benefit. Oil, already rebounding on supply constraints, that could further gather momentum as financial conditions they ease and demand expectations climb. Meanwhile, on the flip side, a hawkish Powell reaffirming elevated rates right the way through to 2026, that could weigh on industrial metals, reviving recession fears and bolstering the dollar index, which would tighten liquidity across the commodity complex. Adding fuel to this explosive mix is the escalating feud between President Donald Trump and Jerome Powell. Trump's direct threats to fire Jerome Powell if rate cuts don't materialize, that could inject a new level of political uncertainty and volatility into an already fragile market. With this showdown heating up, Jerome Powell's words, they carry historic weight. This is no longer just a question of monetary policy, it's about the Federal Reserve's independence, political interference, and how these tensions, they ripple through inflation-sensitive assets like gold, silver, and crude oil. Some analysts, they are calling this the most market-moving speech of Jerome Powell's entire career. For commodity traders, it could mark the turning point that shapes the remainder of 2025. If Jerome Powell's speech wasn't enough, Friday's tariff deadline, that looms large. Unless there's a last-minute reprieve, the US is set to impose sweeping tariffs across China, and European imports are moved with profound implications for industrial commodities. For example, copper, aluminium, steel, and rare earths, they face heightened risk. Supply chains are fragile, inventories are thin, and further escalation that could trigger sudden shortages and price spikes. agricultural commodities, they are also vulnerable to retaliatory tariffs that could disrupt global trade flow. Additionally, the energy markets, they will not be immune, as risk-off sentiment and currency volatility that weighs on demand projections. These tariffs, they represent more than a trade policy headline. They could unleash a new wave of commodity price inflation. With these catalysts converging, this week sets up for a high conviction opportunity for commodities. Volatility, that equals opportunity. As savvy commodity traders know, they are positioning for what could become some of the most asymmetrical setups of 2025. Whether it's rotating into precious metals, tactical positioning in energy, or bracing for industrial supply shocks, this is the week that will separate the reactive from the proactive. The commodity trade of 2025 could be set in motion into this week, especially if Jerome Powell he signals a dovish pivot and tariffs disrupt supply chains. In that sense, you can expect a broad rally in hard assets, from gold and silver to oil and copper. Now, if Powell stays hawkish and tariffs escalate, safe haven flows that will still favor precious metals and commodities in general. Either way, indecision is the greatest risk. The window to act is closing fast. The biggest commodity trade of 2025, that might be just days away from liftoff. The only question that matters now is, are you positioned to capitalize on the greatest financial shift of our lifetimes, or are you still watching from the sidelines? Extraordinary times, they do create extraordinary opportunities. Right now, as traders, we are living in some of the most exciting and rewarding times ever in history. If you have been kicking yourself for missing out on some of the biggest trading events so far this year, and you still want to make 2025 your best ever, now is the time to take action. With everything that is unfolding on the global macro front, our clients have already made in excess of 6, 7, and 8-figure returns so far this year, and we're only in July. Whatever long-term goal you're looking to achieve through trading, whether that is to create a full-time income, a second or replacement income, or just to earn a better return on your savings, now is the time to take action. Right now, you have an opportunity to make 2025 your biggest and best yet, which, based on our research, it is going to be another blockbuster year due to all the current macroeconomic events that are unfolding. Definitely do not underestimate what you can achieve in the next 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months from now. Here at the Gold and Silver Club, we're consistently banking over 10,000 points profit per month, which we have transparently documented through our weekly videos. If you're trading at 1 lot, that's $100,000. If you're trading at 10 lots, that's $1 million. As you can see from our testimonials, the majority of our clients at the Gold and Silver Club are utilizing our proprietary research-driven trading approach. They have already made in excess of 6, 7, 8-figure returns, and we're only halfway through the year. If you have been kicking yourself for missing out on some of the biggest trading opportunities so far this year, but you still want to make 2025 your best ever, go to jointhegoldandsilverclub.com now to learn how our mentorship program can take your trading to the next level. Time, it is the most valuable commodity that we have. Make sure that you do not waste it. As a member, you get access to our exclusive live trading room webinars. You get access to real-time trade ideas, access to institutional research and market intelligence, access to our private Members Academy website, and also support and one-to-one mentoring. For more information, just go to jointhelivetradingroom.com. The link is also below this report in the description. Just click on the link, make an application. We will get in touch ASAP.